Breaking today, Meghan Markle trying to use the US government to step in and stop her own brother and sister having control over her father.
They say you can choose fame, but you can't choose family. Yet Meghan Markle seems to think she can do both and still come out looking like royalty.
It's no mystery that Meghan pays people to go after anybody who says anything bad about her. One day, all the Sussex squad will be wiped off the face of the f***ing planet, period. Along with Meghan.
In a move that's got the internet boiling, her own brother Thomas Markle Jr. just dropped a bombshell that even Buckingham Palace couldn't polish. On camera, raw, unfiltered, and furious.
Because anybody who says anything bad about Meghan, oh, they go after her. Good job, squaddies. Good job. Your quarterly bonuses are in your account now.
He accuses Meghan of abandoning their ailing father while the cameras kept rolling and the interviews kept coming. For someone who built an empire preaching compassion and connection, the silence toward her own family is, well, louder than any royal state.
Stop sending your government officials in to the hospital in the Philippines. Pick up your goddamn mobile phone. Call Caroline Graham. You know her number. Pass the mobile phone over to Thomas Markle. Have a conversation. Anything less than that proves that you're not a human being, which is something that we've known for a long time.
While her father's health declines, Meghan's PR machine seems busier than ever. Trademarking projects, curating podcasts, posing for glossy spreads. But not a single public word for the man who raised her. That's not just cold. That's Antarctica in designer heels.
People of this evil bullshit caliber do not have a place on this world.
Thomas Jr. didn't hold back. He called her out as heartless, distant, and obsessed with her image. And honestly, this time, even her fiercest defenders are struggling to spin it. The man looked straight into the camera and said, she's turned her back on her blood.
You're only putting out all this PR shit to boost your public image.
But here's the twist. This interview isn't just another family squabble. It's the moment the Markle narrative might finally crack. Because what Thomas revealed next about Meghan's past and her carefully crafted royal mask left even longtime fans speechless.
It's the worst crisis PR scenario that her team could ever imagine.
When Thomas Markle Jr. sat down for that interview, no one expected him to come out swinging like a man with nothing left to lose. But that's exactly what happened. Calm at first, then visibly shaking, he looked straight into the lens and said the one thing no PR team could ever undo, that Meghan abandoned their father when he needed her most. Not gossip, not rumor. His words unfiltered and broadcast for the world to judge.
Now, after this point, when you've had 7 years knowing my father's phone number, it hasn't changed for 15 years. It's the same phone number. You have not reached out. You have not texted. You have not called.
It wasn't some emotional outburst either. He came armed with dates, memories, and receipts. He painted a picture of an aging father waiting by the phone while his daughter, once daddy's little girl, ghosted him for the cameras. He accused her of trading loyalty for luxury, replacing real love with royal optics. And for viewers watching, it stung, because beneath the tabloids and tiaras, it sounded heartbreakingly human. This wasn't just a family feud anymore, it was a public reckoning. For years, Meghan had kept control of her story, polished, protective, and picture perfect. But Thomas's words cracked that porcelain image wide open, letting everyone see the tension simmering beneath the palace glow. And the worst part, he says this is only the beginning, because what he revealed next doesn't just question Meghan's compassion, it questions her entire truth. And trust me, that next revelation will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about her.
You look like you're medically induced on all your videos. You look like a f***ing psychopath. You look like you're f***ing on drugs. You and f***ing Harry. You guys are in f***ing La La Land. No concept of f***ing reality. It's disgusting.
While the cameras flashed across Montecito, another scene was unfolding far from the royal spotlight. A frail father, battling illness, still hoping for a call that never came. Thomas Markle Sr., once the man who worked long hours just to give Meghan her first taste of Hollywood dreams, now spends his days quietly wondering why the daughter he raised with so much pride refuses to even speak his name. Thomas Jr. described it bluntly. Dad's health is fading, and she doesn't even check in. His voice cracked when he said it, not out of anger, but disbelief, because for him, it's not just silence, it's a message. A message that fame, titles, and documentaries matter more than the man who paid for acting lessons and stood in the front row of her first school play. Meanwhile, Meghan's public appearances tell a different story. Dazzling smiles, motivational speeches about empathy, and glossy magazine spreads celebrating family values.
I made one dumb mistake, and I'm never being forgiven for it. And this show that they're on, they talk about compassion. There's no compassion for me. There's no compassion for my family. And there's no compassion for the royals.
But behind that glamour, her brother claims there's a wall higher than any palace gate. It's a heartbreaking contrast. A daughter celebrated worldwide for kindness, and a father struggling to understand how kindness can forget its roots. And yet, Thomas Jr. insists this silence isn't accidental. He calls it a deliberate choice, a move to erase the parts of her past that no longer fit her royal narrative. When the interview aired, it wasn't just another headline. It was a family earthquake. Thomas Markle Jr. didn't stumble through his words. He delivered them like a man who'd been waiting years to finally be heard. Sitting in that studio, his expression a mix of exhaustion and conviction. He revisited memories that Meghan probably hoped were long buried, childhood moments twisted by distance, holidays missed, messages ignored. Every sentence felt like reopening an old scar that never healed right. He talked about the years before the fame, before the royal titles and luxury estates, when they were just a normal family in California. He recalled how Meghan once promised to never forget where she came from, but as he put it, that promise disappeared the moment the cameras showed up.
This is how it's going down. Meghan, off, all right? There is no other way about it. You will not get within 20 feet of my dad. I can promise you that.
The audience didn't just hear an accusation. They felt the pain of a brother reliving what he calls a vanishing act dressed as reinvention. The interview cut deeper because it didn't come from strangers or tabloids. It came from blood. Each word carried the weight of betrayal. Years of quiet resentment exploding into public light. And while some saw bitterness, others saw brutal honesty. But what truly ignited the internet wasn't just what Thomas said. It was what he hinted at. Something about Meghan's past she never wanted exposed. Publicly, Meghan Markle embodies grace, the humanitarian, the advocate for women, the voice of compassion. But behind the shimmering curtain of speeches and spotlights, Thomas Jr.'s words paint a very different portrait. According to him, the polished image is a carefully constructed performance, one that hides years of emotional distance and quiet denial. While the world applauds her as a champion of kindness, her brother claims that kindness has never reached her own doorstep. The contrast couldn't be sharper. On one side, glossy magazine covers praising her as a modern princess. On the other, family members saying they can't even get a text.
You're a lying scumbag piece of shit who doesn't deserve anything except for what you're getting right now in the press. And I will protect my dad with my life.
It's a divide that fans are now questioning. Can someone preach about empathy while ignoring their own blood? Online forums erupted the moment clips from the interview surfaced. Hashtags like Royal Fatad and Meghan Exposed started trending overnight, splitting the internet into two camps: the defenders who say she's protecting her peace, and the critics who call it pure hypocrisy. Thomas Jr. insists this isn't about jealousy or revenge, it's about truth. He says the public only sees the brand, not the woman behind it, and that the version of Meghan presented to the world is a character she plays better than any role she's ever had. And the timing of his statement couldn't be worse, because what came next threatens to shatter that perfectly managed royal illusion once and for all. By this point, the debate wasn't just about one interview, it became a question of pattern. Was this the first time Meghan distanced herself from family drama, or part of something much bigger? Thomas Jr. insists it's a repeating cycle, the same script, different chapter. He described how every time Meghan steps into a new spotlight, she seems to leave another bridge burning behind her. First old friends, then extended relatives, now even her own father. To him, it's not coincidence, it's strategy, but not everyone agrees.
Meghan, you and your disgusting shitbag people trying all these things, trying to say that you reached out to my father all over social media. Now, after all this time, you put out this bull crap that you've tried to reach out to dad.
Some say Thomas Jr. is projecting years of frustration, turning pain into blame. Others argue Meghan is simply protecting herself from a family that sold her privacy for interviews and headlines. Both sides make their case, one crying betrayal, the other crying survival. It's the kind of moral tug-of-war that keeps viewers hooked, because no one truly knows what's real behind palace walls. Thomas Jr. doubled down, claiming he has messages and memories that prove Meghan's transformation wasn't gradual, it was intentional. He believes she rewrote her story to fit royal perfection, erasing anything that didn't sparkle on camera. Still, his tone carried hints of sadness, not just anger. "I don't hate her," he said softly. "I just don't recognize her anymore." And just when the audience thought he'd said it all, he revealed something so unexpected, it flipped the entire narrative on its head. The moment Thomas Jr.'s interview hit the web, the digital world went into overdrive. Within hours, clips flooded TikTok, X, and YouTube, each one dissecting every word, every expression, every emotional pause. Hashtags exploded across timelines. Markle drama, family versus fame, Semcon silence, influencers, royal commentators, and even casual viewers jumped in, turning one interview into a cultural storm.
How can she sit there saying, I so love my family, my family love me, and ruthlessly cut you, Tom Sr. and Samantha out of her life?
Some called Thomas Jr. brave for exposing what others were too afraid to say. Others accused him of exploiting family pain for attention, but no one, not a single person, could look away. Reaction videos racked up millions of views overnight. People analyzed body language, tone, even Meghan's past interviews for clues. Old footage resurfaced, drawing eerie parallels between her words and her brother's claims. Memes, debates, and fiery comment threads spread like wildfire. And suddenly, the family feud wasn't just gossip, it was global entertainment. Even mainstream outlets picked it up, framing it as the Markle divide, questioning whether the Duchess's public message of unity still held weight. The louder the internet got, the quieter Meghan's camp became, a silence that only fueled the fire. What started as one man's emotional outpouring had now become a full-blown digital spectacle, reshaping how millions see the royal couple. And just when it seemed like the chaos couldn't escalate further, Thomas Jr. dropped one last statement, the kind that could rewrite the family story forever. As the dust settled from the online explosion, Meghan's carefully managed image faced its toughest test yet. The world that once celebrated her as a symbol of resilience suddenly seemed divided. PR experts began dissecting her silence, debating whether her refusal to respond was strategic or simply surrender. Every move, every appearance, every quote from her past was now being re-examined through a harsher lens.
They can all go suck and flying monkeys also. But how disgusting and pathetic my father's daughter is, because the entire world knows that she is at the bottom of the barrel for God knows how long, because everybody knows who she is as a person.
Thomas Jr.'s words didn't just spark controversy. They reopened conversations about authenticity, family, and fame. Brands linked to Meghan quietly paused campaigns. Comment sections under her old interviews filled with side-by-side comparisons between what she preached and what her brother claimed. Even royal insiders whispered that this time the narrative might be slipping out of her control. Supporters argued she's been unfairly targeted, hounded for trying to protect her peace. Critics countered that compassion shouldn't be conditional, especially when it comes to blood. The tension was palpable, a duchess caught between her public persona and private history, between loyalty and liberation. And yet, through it all, Meghan remained silent. No statements, no denials, just that unnerving quiet that speaks louder than any press release. Thomas Jr. ended his interview with a chilling promise. This won't be the last you hear from us. If he's right, the next chapter of this family saga could be the one that finally shatters Meghan's royal fairy tale for good. For years, Meghan Markle's story has been framed as a fairy tale, a Hollywood actress who crossed oceans and titles to become royalty. But Thomas Jr.'s explosive words have peeled back that golden frame, revealing something far more haunting: the human cost of chasing perfection. Behind the palaces, private jets, and press statements lies a woman constantly torn between image and identity. And if her brother's account holds any truth, the crown didn't just distance her from her past, it demanded it.
Is that you get your ass on a private jet, you get to that hospital, and you take your father back on that private jet so that he gets the best possible treatment. Stop sending in your government goons to do your dirty work. You go yourself. The embassy doesn't have to have anything to do with this.
Thomas described fame as a slow eraser, one that wipes away family, humility, and old loyalties, replacing them with carefully curated versions of truth. He suggested that Meghan's transformation wasn't corruption, it was survival. To stay in that royal circle, to protect that pristine narrative, she had to choose which parts of herself to sacrifice. Sadly, her family may have been the first on that list. The tragedy is almost Shakespearean. A daughter climbing to global power while her roots crumble beneath her. Fame gave her everything: wealth, influence, legacy. But according to Thomas Jr., it also took everything that once made her real. Now, the question isn't whether Meghan abandoned her family, it's whether fame abandoned her. And there it is, the saga that just refuses to fade. Meghan's brother's words may have cracked her royal image, but what's coming next could shatter it completely. Because while this family drama plays out in front of the world, another storm has already begun brewing behind the scenes, one that could change everything we thought we knew about Meghan's inner circle. Just a few minutes ago, new leaks surfaced involving a man who's been by her side since before the fame, a longtime friend tied to the exclusive Soho House world. And what he's allegedly revealed about certain high-profile connections has left even Prince Harry blindsided. It's the kind of revelation that doesn't just spark headlines, it detonates them. If you think tonight's story was intense, wait until you see what's coming next. Trust me, you'll want to watch our latest upload, where we uncover what happened just 3 minutes ago and why it has everyone in royal circles panicked. So before you scroll, click over and see how deep this story really goes. You're watching Star Spotlight, where secrets surface, truth glimmers, and fame meets its reckoning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because in this world of crowns and cameras, the truth always finds its way to the spotlight.